same time, people was asking him, well, okay, well, why did you leave LeBron out? You know what I'm saying? You know what he said? Okay, he's the guy who led to, um, the change of the the charge of the super team. You know what I'm saying? So he's basically blaming LeBron for
Yeah,
creating all of these super teams. Now, what I say is this: if anyone can think about back in the day, and I'm only going as far as I can think of as Jordan's era, I can include Bird and Magic in that era. If you look at the Lakers always had a super team. You look at Boston have always had a super team. You look at the New York Knicks, the Knicks always have had a super team. We can go on down the line and naming all the teams. The Bulls, they created a super team. Now they didn't go out there and get no major stars like LeBron does, but they drafted, created, put a product out there, which was created as Super Team. Detroit went out there, drafted most of those guys that was on that team. You know what I'm saying? Look at how the Lakers was built. The Lakers was built through the draft. Just got Worthy. You just got Magic. You end up with great players. You traded for Kareem. You see what I'm saying? So you ended up with great players. Uh, Coming directly out of the draft to your team, super team. New York Knicks, same thing. You traded for some guys. You drafted Patrick Ewing. You know what I'm saying? Charles Oakley was traded over from the Bulls to the Knicks to go with Charles Oakley, with Patrick Ewing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying I can agree to disagree with him on that because there's always been super team. Look at the Supersonics before they became the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? The Supersonics had a team that damn near can beat anybody. Look at Houston.
you
Houston
talking
had a
about
Same with the OKC.
Supersonics? You
Supersonics
talking
just
about
got
the
put in.
OKC. I keep saying
yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
why I keep mixing them up with Golden State, but I meant OKC. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Look at Phoenix. When they had Barkley. You know what I'm saying? I give you another one. Let's go all the way back and look at the Magics when they first got Penny and Shaq.
Sure.
Yeah,
You
they
you
was
see
a
what I'm
dangerous
saying?
duo.
So I'm just saying like that. I mean, those were back then. To me, looking at it now, going back, were super teams. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah, it's not.
I agree that LeBron left to create a super team instead of staying with his team to create a super team. But it's always have been in the NBA mega super teams. You didn't have superstars jumping ship. You didn't. Because 9 times out of 10, most of your superstars got traded. Shaq got traded to the Lakers. Barkley kept getting traded from Phoenix to Houston to Phoenix. He kept getting traded. It wasn't like he was jumping ship. You know what I'm saying? He was getting traded to these teams. So it's a difference when you're getting traded, where you don't have a choice that you have to go to these teams to creating your own team. And I think that's what, to me, Dr. J missed the point on that one because it's always been super mega team. Hell, it was a mega team when he was with Philadelphia. He
Yeah,
had a
let's not
super
forget that
team when,
team.
right? He had a super team when he was with Philadelphia. You
Let's
know what
not
I'm
let's
saying?
yeah.
So
You
I don't
you
know.
hit you hit it right on the nose with that one, big dog. Um, another team, the super team or the mega team of them all was that Boston Celtics team in the '60s.
With Boston,
Yeah.
yes. When nobody beating
Um.
Boston.
That was a mad super
Yeah.
team.
That was
Yes.
that was a
I
mad
went
super
back and
team.
watched they finals.
It
See, like I
wasn't
said,
even
I can
fair. Yeah.
understand where the doc is coming from. Doc is coming from these teams were created, from 9 times out of 10 from the draft. It was
I think.
created.
Yeah.
And he's basically saying is that they don't do that anymore. Yeah,
I
all the
think that it was.
superstars want to go and play with other superstars. He said it didn't happen that way back in the day.
I think that it
You didn't
was
have
worded
Bill
wrong.
Russell want to play with Will Chamberlain. He didn't want to play with Will. He want to go against Will. So I think that's what he was trying to say, but he kind of said it in the wrong way and
Yeah.
threw LeBron under the bus. You know what I mean? I ain't a
And
LeBron fan myself, but I ain't gonna put him out there like that. I think he was wrong for that part of it.
Yeah, and it's a thing too that LeBron kind of looked up to Dr. J. I had him as one of his idols also. So it's kind of bogus that he did that. But from what I saw from it was that if you was gonna shoot that shot at LeBron, at least say that LeBron started this free agency. If you was gonna shoot the shot, say that he started the free agency move or something. And
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? He started I'm trying to word it right. Players moving freely, or the
Yeah.
free agency super teams, I guess, as you can word them. LeBron, he could say that, but just to say that LeBron started the super teams was completely missed because super teams have been
yeah.
around for as long as the NBA been around. So I think that he
He
could,
never started that super team. Never started. I mean, you got
and
to understand something. You
you
had
can't,
Kenny the Jet Smith on Houston with
yeah.
Elijah Wan. Those are mega superstars. You know what I'm saying? So I disagree with that one right there. I disagree with what he said.
I think that he missed the point too, cause I mean it's like you shooting a shot, but four fingers passing back at you, looking back at you. Being that he had a super team with Moses Malone, and let's not forget those other
Yes.
guys he had on that team. So he kept getting beat by super teams to the point that they had to form him a super team. So I feel like he can't really say too much on that discussion. Because he had him a super team also, even though it wasn't the way that it is now. But I feel like old heads got to understand that you can't truly get mad at now these players nowadays for being able to be free and choose and go where they want to. Obviously, these old heads, if they had the opportunity to do the same thing, they would completely leave these organizations. If it was up to Dr. J, I guarantee you, the amount of times he got his butt kicked by the Boston Celtics and the Lakers and those other teams back then, he would have left himself. He would have left Philadelphia. So I feel like you pointing a finger now, but it's like four fingers looking back at you. If the old heads had this type of decision making, or were able to move as freely as they are now, they would have definitely did it in a heartbeat. So I don't I for him to say that LeBron created the super teams is kind of messed up. You know what I'm saying? He worded to me. I just felt like he worded it wrong. But don't shoot the
Yeah, I
shot if
do
the
too.
if the if the finger's looking back at you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he definitely worded that wrong. I think he would have took it in a different direction. But
Yeah.
like I say, as long as I can remember watching basketball, it's always been super team. I'm sorry, it's always been super
Always.
team.
Yeah.
Yep,
And, and
yep.
and and like you said, you made this analogy, and I'll let you go too, Rizzo, if you got some. But you made this analogy the other day, I believe, and it was like you were saying that any team, there's always super teams, but it's always that super team that comes out on top. We look at it now. Let's just look at it. We look at super teams as the teams that win, right? The Nets have a super team. Let's say they lose. The Nets were still a super team. You see what I'm saying? The Warriors, they lost to the Cavs. They were still a super team. So it's always been super teams around. It's just that, sometimes these super teams don't win. Like you said, the Knicks had a super team back in the 90s. They just couldn't get over the hump. So it's
Nope.
always more than it's always those couple of teams that are super teams every year. It's just that some of them just don't get over the hump, you know?
Yep.
So that's just the end of it all. It's just that one team is the better super team because there's always multiple superstars that are, always challenging for that ring. So, yeah.
Yep. Yep. You got anything, Rizzo?
Oh no, I don't have nothing to add to it.
All